We're going from 0 to 60 with Hercules. So let's get cracking. Hello, all my explorers, and welcome back to Loren's Adventures Out There. And if you are new, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. My name is Loren, and I'm with Castles, Capes, and Clones, where we discuss everything in the Disney universe. We do unboxings and hauls, pins, box swaps, Disney news, Disney reviews, and more. So if that sounds fun to you, we'd love it if you would subscribe to our channel, hit the bell for notifications, and do like this post, as it really does help us out. So we are continuing our series from 0 to 60, in which we look at the films of Walt Disney Animation Studios in order. We started off with Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and we will end with Encanto, the 60th film. And today we are going to talk about one of my faves, 1997's Hercules. So Disney's Hercules basically it's loosely based on the adventures of Hercules from mythology. Actually, what's interesting is that Hercules is the Roman way of pronouncing Hercules. And it's the one that we know the most. But in Greek mythology, his name is actually pronounced Heracles. But in this, they, said it was Greek mythology. They used the Greek gods' names of Zeus and Hermes and Hades and so on and so forth. So anyway, the idea for this film was pitched by animator Joe Hader during a 1992 pitch meeting. And at the same time, Ron Clements and John Musker, legendary team, did The Little Mermaid and Aladdin. They wanted to do a project called Treasure Planet. And just through some hems and haws, Jeffrey Katzenberg said, okay, if you work on Hercules, then you can do Treasure Planet. And so anyway, that is what they did. They decided to work on Hercules. They did a lot of research. They went to Greece. They went to Turkey to kind of look at the different styles and try to get things right in that way. One of the things that they really did differently was in the mythology. Hera is not the mother of Hercules, and he is a demigod because Zeus had an affair with a woman called Aclamene. I want to say Aclamene. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that name. But anyway, Hera was always hated Hercules because of this and tried to kill him in many different ways. And so I think that when they were looking at the story, they didn't want to have a story where Zeus has an affair and Hera is the villain. So they made Hera his mother, and they made Hades the villain. And Hades is very wonderfully voiced by James Woods, and he did a lot of ad-libbing. They were originally thinking that he would have this kind of Jafarish type voice, But then when they heard James Wood, and his kind of like fast talking and ad libbing and things like that, it they just felt that that would work, and it were correct. It worked very well. Um, Tate Donovan was the voice of Hercules, and Susan Egan was the voice of Meg. And I should say that Roger Bart, who is a famous Broadway star, he did the singing voice for Hercules. And then Danny DeVito was Philocletes, or Phil. And Bobcat Goldthwait and Matthew Frewer were the voices of Pain and Panic. Ron Clements and John Musker were actually fans of a Gerald Scarfe, who was a British cartoonist. He did an illustration of the Beatles for Time magazine. And one of the things that I believe it was John Musker saw was that Gerald Scarfe's illustrations really kind of matched the Greek vases, and so they really wanted to incorporate his style into this movie, which you can definitely see. The style of Hercules is very different from a lot of the other Disney films. It's more cartoony looking and fun, and they actually brought Gerald Scarfe in to help, provide the character designs. So he was also working on the film. The music was written by Alan Menken and lyricist David Zippel, and to me, the soundtrack to Hercules is just bar none. I love it so much. Who would have ever thought that gospel music would have fit so well into Greek mythology? But it just does in this movie, in with the tone of the movie, and turning them into a Greek chorus is just brilliant. I just love Zero to Hero is probably one of my favorite Disney songs. I just it's always in my head, and I'm always playing it. It's just so good. Go the Distance is also such a wonderful song, and there was a pop version done by Michael Bolton. So yeah, it's such a great soundtrack. Interestingly enough, this was the last film of the Renaissance era that Alan Menken would work on. In terms of critical response, it actually got very good critical response. A lot of people loved James Woods as the voice of Hades, and I think that most people would agree with that. And just in terms of the general writing and score and performances, I think that people really enjoyed that. Unfortunately, it didn't do as well in the box office. It, compared to, it took in 58 million in its first weekend, but you compare it to Pocahontas at 80 million and The Lion King at 119 million, you can guess that Disney was disappointed with the box office. Now, they also did blame the competition for that they released on a day where both Men in Black and Batman and Robin came out, and so that probably affected the box office performance, which is sad because again, this is one of my favorite Disney movies. I love Hercules so much. Yes, they did take a lot of liberties with the mythology, and I remember back in the day, I did not like Hercules. And because they changed the story, and I thought, I was such a big fan of mythology. I still am such a big fan of mythology. But I was like, they should have called it Heracles, not Hercules, because it's Greek mythology, and all of this. So, I just was one of those too cool for school moments for me. But then when I went back and watched it, I really understood. First of all, you can't have a Disney film about a guy who has an affair and has a child with this woman, and have the stepmother be the villain. I mean, yes, there have been a lot of mothers that have been a villain, but I'm just glad that they didn't go that way. I think that it was very smart for them to go a more comedic route, and I think that the music again is just so fun. So anyway, what did you think of Hercules? Let me know in the comments below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Um, and did you enjoy this program? If you did, we'd love it if you would subscribe to our channel, hit the bell for notifications, and again, peeps, please like this post. It really does help us out. All right. Visit us on all of our socials down below. Visit our website at www.castlescapesandclones.com. Thank you so much again, and we will see you later. Bye!